I will share my ups and my downs so you can use all my secrets to turn your situation around. Because here at Nassau, we give real life solutions, and we're the #1 real estate experts. So, hey, thanks so much for joining us. But before we get started, we gotta give it up to my man, Walt Piper. What's up, Walt?
What's happening? What's happening?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
It's all good, man.
See, look, everyone, I'm not fired this week. Praise Jesus.
Hey, so
I did something right this time.
Yeah, and then also what we got here. Oh, we almost forgot. Before we get started, this show is sponsored by Bird 360. They pull that up for them. The Bird 360 coming September. What's the date? The 14th through the 16th?
September 13, 15.
What I said? September
13, 14, 15.
Yeah. Where's the picture at, man?
In the PowerPoint slides.
There we go. So they are September 13th, Bird 360, the 13th to the 15th, where we'll take you all the way from wholesaling to hotels, raising private capital, the SEC, finding the good deal, Airbnb, anything you want to know, how to be a passive investor, how to be an active investor. Look, we'll show you multiple techniques on how you could do no money down deals, even teach you how to do developments. The Bird 360, get your ticket now. And we're signing up all our sponsors, our speakers as well. A great seminar conference you don't want to miss. Make sure you sign up now. Also, my man, let's give it up for Wendell de Guzman, all the way from the Philippines, but also AKA Avondale, Cincinnati. What's up, brother?
Hey, how are you, Mike?
It's all good, man. Enjoying this Miami heat, bro. It's on fire out here.
Yep, well, Cincinnati is also hot right now.
And the Philippines is hot and hotter.
Yep, and Cincinnati is hot right now too, so that's all right. So Mike, so this is what we're doing today is something that we have not done before, actually, you know. So, and this is about how to make money with real estate without lifting a finger. Think about that one. So
I like, hey,
yeah.
can I say that's my favorite?
There's an echo. Why there's an echo? I think.
Oh, he probably got his phone on, or somebody got put mute. Yeah, I like being lazy, man.
Yeah, I know. That's the best form of money, right? Is money you did not work hard for. So
that's right.
Right, and it's scalable too, right? Because now, right, if you're always working for money, I think Warren Buffett is the one who said it. You will work until you die, something like that, you know?
Yeah, no, man. Hey, I think it was this one movie. Don't make the money. Don't work for the money. Make the money make you. Oh man. Unfortunately, it was a stripper movie that I saw.
Need work for you, something like that. Yeah. All right. So let's not go there, Mike. So let's so we'll show you several ways on how to make money, you know, totally passive, right?
Absolutely.
We'll show you like a projection that shows that, hey, this is the amount of money you can make and it's totally passive. And we will also show you like how to do it tax-free, you know, in a retirement account, you know, which kind of like blows my mind, you know, like, but see, the thing is, a lot of people think, oh, it has to be in a Roth IRA, right? But the Roth IRA.
No, we don't. Yeah, we don't need the Roth IRA anymore.
But there's actually a way to do it. Like you can contribute like 61,000 a year and do it tax-free, which is crazy. We have a surprise guest, Mike, you know, which is in the agenda, right? And our surprise guest is one of our investors. You know, he's a lazy Asian investor.
I already know who that is. Ain't nobody lazier than this guy, man.
Yeah, and then we will interview Davon Reeves, the CEO of a crowdfunding platform that allows anyone to invest in hotels for as little as $1,000.
Oh
That
my goodness.
is like mind blowing.
That is mind blowing.
Yeah, then we'll answer all of your questions, guys. You can reserve it, and then at the end of the show, which to me is the most important part of the show, I call it Mike's Millionaire Mindset Monologue, which is basically you can learn all of these techniques, right? But if you don't have the right mindset, then nothing happens.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, what I found is that when you hang out with, people like Mike and Nate, your mindset expands like considerably. Like yesterday, Mike, you told me that, your goal is $1 billion in apartments and hotels. I was like, and now I was thinking, how can I help Mike do that? Right. So that whole mindset when it expands.
I mean, but forget that. Do you remember when we couldn't even fathom how to create $1 billion in assets? Where do we get the resources? How is that even possible?
Yeah.
Now it's like, that's what we're going to do. And we're like, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yep.
And there's no doubt we'll accomplish that goal.
Exactly. So guys, and then, before we actually jump right in, put in the chat where you're from, and we will choose one of you to get a t-shirt, Broke to Millions t-shirt, as well as Mike's book, From Broke to Millions. Hold on.
Yeah, and everybody out there on Facebook, where you're from, I don't have Instagram today, but Facebook, in our group chats, Burr, Apartment Investor Secrets, where you from, where you checking in. We got Memphis, got ATL, Amy Smith, Marianne. Okay. We got Daytona Beach. I'm hanging out in Miami, boy. Miami on 5, so I know Daytona. St. Louis, Missouri. Even I got family out there. I got family checking in this weekend. They traveling from St. Louis to check us out. So thanks so much for joining us. Fort Lauderdale, we got Skip. Ontario.
No, Ontario, California, is that right?
Yeah, man, we got everybody. Maryland. We got a full house today, man.
Cool.
All right, well, let's get going, brother. San Diego.
Let's jump right in.
Ooh, look at that. That house is floating, bro. Philly in the building. So how to make money with real estate without lifting a finger. This is probably going to be my favorite show. Like, who doesn't want to make thousands of dollars sitting in a chair, just making decisions? And now I know why you have this special guest on today, because he's the king of sitting in the chair.
Right.
Waiting. So look, hey guys, if you didn't know about me, I'm Mike Ealy. I have over 1,500 units. We have like 4 hotels, in the process of building 2 more in the pre-development stage. We're on track to do over $1 billion worth of assets within 5 years or less. We have industrial warehouses, parcels of land, but most of all, I'm here to educate you on how you could be a great passive or active investor so that you can accomplish the same goals. And look, you don't have to necessarily go to $1 billion. I'm going to $1 billion to $4 billion so that multiple people can gain wealth as well and have alternative of routes so that they too can share in the American dream of having wealth and passive wealth. Because I know some of you love your jobs. Some of you don't want to be active. Some of you want to just sit and spend time with your family and traveling. Some of you just want to replace your W-2 income. You'll be happy with your $100,000 a year or $50,000 a year as long as you can relax and spend time with the family or travel or do whatever it is that you desire. We are here to help you get there. And it starts today. It starts today. That's why I got these colorful shirts, because I'm living life, baby. Look, I think my jacket matches my shirt. What do you think? I can rock it with that. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So here's the reality of real estate investing, active real estate investing. See how she's pulling her hair out? Look, my hair already left, okay? So I've already been through what these people, look, no matter what you do, it's always going to be challenging, especially if you got into a learning curve. But myself and my team, I just look back, we've over 25 years of real estate experience. So I've seen it all. I've seen developments. I've seen low income. I've seen the C class, B class, A class. I've done wholesaling. Listen, being active is not for everyone, all right? For example, everyone could sing, right? Everybody can sing. Now, we probably don't want to hear everyone sing. Now, of course, you want to hear me sing. I know I can jam, but okay, I guess not. But, just like that, some people are meant to sit on the sideline and enjoy and cheer on the sideline. And some should be active. So you don't have to deal with the 3 T's as Walt loves, tenants, splits, and trash. And the other one, contractors not showing up. Because I don't care what you do as an active investor, these are things that you will deal with. But if you become passive, a lot of that goes away. Let's talk about how. Let's go. I agree with this picture, man. Sometimes being active, because sometimes you feel like you're a one-man band when you first starting off. You're riding this unicycle, you're juggling with fire, and everybody's tapping on your shoulder. Look, and I don't care if you got 1,000 units or 50 units. When you become a property manager and you're involved in day-to-day, this is what's happening. It's utter chaos. It's great chaos once you get a system, but you're always putting out fires. That's what's so symbolic of this lady juggling. Literally, every morning you plan on, I'm just going to reconcile, huh?
That's a guy, Mike.
What?
That's a guy. There's a guy
Oh,
juggling.
that's a guy? Okay, hold on, let me get my
unicycle.
glasses. Oh, it is. See, hey, now I'm not pulling my hair out, I'm pulling my eyes out. No, I mean, seriously, like you come in the office, you plan to just show some leases, and next thing you know, literally a unit caught on fire. So you need to, get resources, put the fire out and board it up. All of a sudden a tenant moved out in the middle of the night, or a pipe burst, and you have to get a team together or your plumber to get over there right away, stop the leak. These are things that happen when you're managing actively. You're hiring, you're firing people, and it's tough. But you're out there attracting, persuading private investors to invest, and you're managing all these issues on top of it with tons of paperwork. Listen, it's tough to be an active investor, but you have to have a certain mindset in order to accomplish that. Some of you are not built for it, and that's okay. Everybody has a certain role, because if it wasn't certain people like that, like Nate, my partner Nate, I am not built to deal with contractors. I can deal with them, I can manage them. I'd rather not. Nate is really good. He communicates, because I don't know, most contractors talk another language. But what happens is, but even when you scale up and get more quality assets and better contractors, you still have to deal with some of these day-to-day issues, but they move a lot smoother. All right, let's go to the next one.
These are things that actually happened to you, Mike.
Oh my gosh. Yes, they did. So 2002, 03, I lost my properties in foreclosure. This is the risk you take. Several of my properties have fires and break-ins. When I I tried to do my first development, I lost $400,000. Let me repeat that again. $400,000.
That's nuts.
I found a large development, and these greedy billionaires tried to kick me out of the deal, and I invited him. COVID happened, and my hotels were, volume and occupancy down, except for my extended stay. That's why I love extended stay. But my courtyard was struggling. Not only did I had to manage getting the skeleton crew to fight through that, I had to deal with my investors and make sure they were still confident and believed in the process of what we were going to do to get through this.
Yeah, I I witnessed that, and I was like, man, those investors were really, really worried at that time. And Mike is like so cool. And this is why, for me personally, Mike, active real estate investing is not for me. I'd rather invest passively, because it's like, oh my God, but it's like I would also panic. And if the syndicator is panicking, then that's not going to be good. But Mike is like so cool. It's mind-boggling how you're able to handle all that pressure, Mike.
Yeah, no, like I said, man, hey, like I said, like a diamond, man, when you put pressure on me, you could either break or turn into a diamond. And so, like we said, everything's not for everybody. Look, I would love for you all to go out and be active and do certain properties, or you can just literally jump on the train with somebody already en route, moving full steam. And jump on board and win.
Or you can
and win. With the right partnership, you can win.
You can do combination too, right, Mike? So it's like, some of our listeners are experts on single family homes, but maybe they don't want to learn, or they don't have the time to learn how to do hotels, right? Then they can partner with someone who knows hotels,
we got my man Bobby, who's actually joined the mastermind, but he's a king burning single family homes.
That's true.
Now he wants to do hotels and apartments, but he's like, man, I'm making so much money. I'll just get money, keep flipping deals like this, and eventually throw my equity into there and be passive and learn along the way. Right. And then eventually do your own deal. So there's multiple ways to go after it. Let's go on to the next one. And look, guys, I'm not trying to steer you away. If your goal is really to be an active investor, that's great. But today we're talking about being passive, all right? Learning other ways of how to break into the real estate industry. You don't have to do everything in real estate. The good news is there are several ways to make money with real estate investing with little or no work. And here's a couple we got 4 of them here. You can invest in a REIT. All right. There's also the land lease. There's private lending. And there's also investing in syndication. Let's go to the next one and share with them some of the details. So in REITs, real estate investment trust, you can invest as little as $100. Did you hear that? $100. The average dividend yield, was that 3%, 5%?
3% was, yes, 5%. Yeah.
At one time they were doing more like 7 to 8%, which is fair. And your money was spread out against multiple properties, kind of like a stock. But one of the things is doing a REIT, there's no tax advantage. There is another advantage that it's there's no work involved, and it's kind of liquid.
Right.
If you invest in one that's on the stock market, I think even ones, if you invest in private REITs as well, that you could actually still be liquid, because I think they have to have so much in cash to be able to liquidate some investors.
Really?
But REITs they're okay if you want to get into real estate and be hands off.
Right.
Yeah, let's go on to the next one.
I don't like about REIT though, Mike, is that it's because it's part of the stock market.
Yes.
It's volatile too, right? So if the stock market goes up, your REIT shares can actually go up or could crash depending on what's happening in the stock market. So that's
great. Yeah, and why would a REIT crash because of the stock market? Look, rents across the country are increasing everywhere, even in California. Right. I think I read the other day, California will see rents at average of $5,000 a month. How the hell can people survive on $5,000 a month rent.
That's nuts.
That's, I think, no, almost. Yeah. I mean, that's more than $1 million mortgage with taxes and insurance. Do you understand that? Your average rent is $5,000.
Man, it's crazy.
Let's go to the next one. Land lease. Now, a lot of wealthy people like to do land leases, especially in, and I'm not saying it only happens in New York. I mean, land leases happen across the country.
Mhm.
But but you see a lot in New York where these people have 99-year land leases and they do nothing. All they did was buy the land and then literally rented the land for somebody to build a building. We actually bought property off of one of the largest land owners in Cincinnati 2 years ago. Like MQ, the 2 Westwood properties we bought. Well, actually, it was a bigger portfolio and we sold a few off. But they owned all the land P&G sits on.
Nice.
In, like St. Bernard. Can you imagine having P&G land lease from you?
Man, that's
They renting the land from you?
that's like guaranteed rent for the next 99 years.
But that's your children's children.
Yep. And then you own the building afterwards.
Yeah.
That's
Well, sometimes in the lease renewals, I don't know what it bases off of. But then there's also, where's the other one? Yeah, New York, a lot of those towers, the 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 floors, land leases.
yep. It's
They don't own the land, they just own the building.
right. That's crazy.
Now, me personally, as a owner, I don't want to own the building and not own the land.
Right.
But it's pretty common in other major cities.
Mhm.
Because they're like, look, I'm not doing it. All right, let's go to the next. So a land lease, I'm sorry, go back. I didn't finish. Land lease could cost anywhere from 100,000 to $1 million. You can even own the building after the lease expires. And again, no tax advantages like depreciation. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of depreciation there because of the land, but no, you might be right.
Appreciation with the land, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And there's little work.
Just get
Because
the
you gotta-
tenant, it's the work.
What's the little work? What are you doing on a land lease?
I mean, the only work required is finding a tenant. That's it. So it's still work, but that's why it's little work, right? So
Okay. Let's go on to the next one, Walt. Now, private lending. Now, I do like private lending. Although now I don't really, as much as I want to lend privately, I now have bigger goals, but I wouldn't mind owning a lot of private mortgage notes. I mean, you can lend money for 9 to 18 months as a rehabber to a rehabber. It could be longer. It could be, you can do it for 5 years. You can do it for 10 years.
mhm.
Investments, I mean, they could be lower, but standard's about 50,000 and they could go to hundreds of thousands depending on the deal. And you can get set returns of 6 to 12% a year. Some go as high as 15%, and there's some charge 2 points, some charge 5 points, sometimes 1. So private lending also gets blended in with hard money lenders. And not so much that it's a hard money lender, but they basing their lending on the actual property, the subject property, and a little bit of the investors. Not so much credit, but credibility. And when I'm talking about credibility, I'm talking about skill set. So when they have a certain skill set, that makes the investor more willing and comfortable to invest with you to do things. So you still no tax advantages, and there's really no work. Now, I think there's probably more work in private lending than land lease.
That's
The
true.
reason I say that, because you have a due diligence factor that you have to go on. Like, you got to inspect the property or send an inspector to see the property, right? to make sure the property is real, is existing. Two, you need to get, you don't necessarily, if you don't know that area, yes, you get an appraisal, or you appraise it yourself, just getting some general comps. You need to check out the guy's experience. And then some of you may just lend the person all the money, or you just lend, what is it? You lend, say that again?
The down payment.
Yeah, well, no, they get the down, yeah, that too, but sometimes they may lend on the entire project. And if there's renovations involved, they need to, what I'm telling you, if there's renovations involved, you need to hold the construction funds in escrow and let them invest, complete so much work, or what we call a phase, and then reimburse. Then they complete another phase, then reimburse, and keep doing until the project's going. Because sometimes if you give the money, if you got a newbie and they're not, used to investing and managing money, they may spend the money and not finish the project. So that's kind of the downside there.
Right.
Private lending is great. I love it.
Cool.
But again, these are examples on how you don't have to lift the hammer.
Yep.
Let's go to the next one. Now, one of my favorite ones, which you get the benefit of both worlds, of all the worlds, of a REIT, of the land lease, of the private lending, is being in syndication. Because look, in syndication, you get to enjoy not only just receiving interest on your money, which they interpret as a preferred, you also get equity, and equity is where the wealth begins. That's where all the money comes in. That's where you're doubling your money. For example, you could lend your money out at 10%, right? So after, 5 years, you made a 50% return. But if you invest in the syndication, not only will you get an average of 6 to 8% a year, you should own some equity that not only will you get 50%, but you should double your money. You should get 100% of return on your money, or just shy of it. All right. If you're in the right syndication, typically syndications give a 1.8 to 2x plus. So 1.8 meaning you made about 80% on your money. Still much better than 50%. That's why I like, but typically, even in our deals, all our investors typically double their money. We give them a 2x return. That's one of the, you saw our podcast, you saw our things we sent out this past week, how to double your money and be passive. And that's one of the things, invest in the syndication. Look, you can get 100% of your capital back and potentially have a majority of money, of all your money, in 3 years or less. Now, at the most, it takes about 5 years, but sometimes it happens in 3 years or less. And look, a lot of deals, if they maintain the property and they refinance and they can pull your money back in 3 years and continue the cash flow, they will maintain and own the property. And guess what? You will still receive cash flow and dividends off that project.
So
isn't that amazing?
Telling me, Mike, that is basically infinite return, right? Because you got
absolutely
money back, and then now you still own or be a part owner of that property and still get the benefits of cash flow, appreciation, and loan pay down. That's crazy.
Who wouldn't want to receive at least, gradually, like all our deals in hotels, they gradually from the beginning as low as 4%, maybe that first year, second year, 8%, third year, 10 or 12%, then 14% annually off their investment, and then get all their cash back. Who would want a deal like that? Yes or yes. And then double your money. Is that a deal? Can you do that on your own? Can you do that sitting doing nothing? What other investment can you put in and double your money and literally just sit in your chair and just read a report? Anybody got out there? Is that a deal? Yes or yes? If you think that's something that's great, investing in syndication, type in yes. Type in yes in the chat.
Man, sometimes, some of my properties in the past, Mike, I didn't even double my money, and I actually did a lot of work. was like, man, I wish I knew this before. I would like, you know what? Forget about active investing. It's not for me. Being a landlord is not for me. It just doesn't mix with my personality. But
Yeah.
just invest in a syndication, and we'll show you later, guys. Like with just 25,000, let's say a year, you can have like. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead of the slides, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
let's go to the next one. Oh, here we go. Let's break some of these slides down.
Yeah.
So in summary,
Mhm.
after we just explained, you can invest in a REIT for $100 or less, get a yield 3 to 5%. Tax benefits, none, work required. Anybody want a REIT? Anybody want to invest in a REIT? I remember I wanted to create a REIT. Not knowing the REIT I really wanted to create was a syndication. So anybody like these REITs? Yes, for a REIT, type in REIT if you want to do a REIT, or say no REIT. REIT or no REIT. Anybody think that a REIT is good? Say no or yes. All right. All right. Who votes for a land lease? A land lease, you can make a lot of money, $100,000 and or up to millions, and you get amazing returns. There's no doubt about that.
What I don't like about land leases, the
land
capital
lease.
required is a lot. That's the problem with the land lease.
Yeah.
You know,
Private lending. Who out there likes private lending? I think private lending is really great. I mean, I had a lot of investors I work with that did private lending, and which is great for me, right? Because when, as an active investor, if you have a private lender and all they do is lend, they're not sharing in any of the equity. They just want a debt payment. And that's good. It just depends on your market. Like I had investors that gave me 500 to $1 million. And guess what? All they wanted was somewhere to put their money that was safe and that they'll get repaid back. That was it. Safe and to get their return.
so someone commented private lending is risky. Well, it's risky if you don't know what you're doing. If you lend it to the wrong person, or it's not backed by a good asset, in a good area, then yes, it's risky. You can lose money with private
Hey,
lending.
look, let me tell you something.
Any of these things,
Anything is risky. Look, I'm a skilled investor. I've done some small private loans, only with people I know.
Yeah.
And hell, I knew this guy that I lent money to was kind of risky, but I wanted to give him an opportunity, and he's been around. And sure enough, he did exactly what I didn't want. He paid me a portion of my money, but not all of it. But I got a lien on the property. If I want to, I'll foreclose on the property and take it back. But I'm giving him every opportunity to try to pay me back, which he has the capacity to do. And I know I have other strings I can pull to get my money that will force him to pay. So, I limit my risk. But no, listen, no matter what you do, there's going to be some risk involved.
Right.
And you're going to make some mistakes. I wish I could tell you, investing in syndication, private lending, or any of these deals, there's no risk. No, what I'm telling you is there's always risk, but there's opportunity. And if you working with the right team, they can minimize your risk.
Right.
And here's the other one. Again, invest in syndication, 25,000, 100,000. You can have an annual cash flow of 6 to 12%. You can receive some depreciation, and you have no work. Your only work is to check every month in your bank account, see if that money came in, and make sure they're doing their reports. So there's a little bit of work. You got to check in. Depending on who you're working with, whether it's monthly or quarterly, you need to check in. All right, let's go to the next slide.
Yeah, but let's focus on syndication, Mike, because if for those of you listening, maybe you're making a lot of income, right? But you're a busy doctor, or busy professional, or you're a busy entrepreneur, right? And you're making a lot of money. I think investing in syndication is really the best because of the whole tax advantages that one gets out of it, right? So, but yeah, let's talk about this, how to double your money through syndication.
Yeah, so one of the ways you could do duplication, let's say you got an initial investment of 25,000, and over a 5-year period, you get a 1,700 return a year, 17,
which is 7%, by the way.
Okay, 7% return. That's 1,750. Over a 5-year period, you receive $8,750. And then after tax, same thing.
Yeah,
Then
because
when
because of depreciation, right?
yep.
Yeah.
And,
so
and
that
then
income is
after you
tax-free.
sell, you got a profit of $16,000 that came to you. $16,000. So, and you get your return of capital. I mean, so what overall, they got a total of, is that right? $43,000 or 50,000?
Or
Am I reading this right?
yeah, so the total, so look at the cumulative.
Yep.
The cumulative is 50,000. So this is what 2x equity multiple means, guys. You know, you invest 25,000 at the end of 5 years. If you don't touch the cash flow, you get 50,000, right? And that multiplies your money by 2x. That's what equity multiplier means.
And then internal rate of return, what we're basically saying that IRR, internal rate of return is 16%.
Yep.
Which means if you were to do this deal and it would distribute out evenly, it will be as if you made an annual 16%. But what they include is your net sale proceeds.
Yep.
So with the net sale and the cash flow, it's as if you would receive 16% internal rate of return. And listen, you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to do anything. That's what we like about being passive investors. Let's go to the next one. Let's get a little deeper into it. Let's say, you guys, you know what? I'm tired of the stock market. And this inflation, by the way, we're going to be in a recession. Inflation just hit another just increased again.
9.1%. Yeah.
We're at 9.1%. Rents are increasing. Gas is increasing. They say it's falling off. I haven't seen the gas fall down at all. I don't know. Like I said, this is me at
20 cents.
Hey, this is me at the gas station. Give me that nozzle right here. This is the phone. That nozzle, like, give me your money, player.
That's true. It's like,
Right. So no, man, but look, let's say you invest 25,000 a year. Every year you're putting 25, then the following year it's like 50. And then look, you're getting a 7% yield per year, right? And then by the 5th year, you start to get your principal and a net sale profit.
yep.
Your 125,000
It's the
that
money
you invested.
came out of you, but it's 140. The value is 143,000. 5 years, and you would have received all of those cash flow as well. Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, like total, you receive over 150,000 over for a total of what, 120,000 investment?
Yeah, actually more than that, because
Yeah,
that only counts the yield for year 5 plus the total, value.
yeah, it doesn't count any of the
Yeah.
sale profit. And listen, that doesn't count. This is just a basic deal. This is nothing like what happens if you do your deal and they sell it and instead of getting 7%, you get 10, 12, 14%.
Yeah.
This is kind of your basic.
And what if, well, 7% is the average yield, right? So I know, Mike, you have deals that, like for the hotels, we just did a 15% distribution.
Yeah.
One of the hotels. So it's like 15% cash on cash, guys. Just on the cash on cash, not just on the cash flow, not including, I mean, that building, has not been sold yet. And it's already 15% just on 1 year. And then what if, like, I know, like, which deal was that you refinance it, like in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, we refinance, put their money back. I mean, it's an infinite return.
Yeah. So it's like after 3 years, the investor got their money back even before 3 years. So I did the math. Like, if you can get your money back in 3 years, your IRR goes from 16% to 22%.
That's good money.
Yeah, talking about velocity of money, like when you invest in a good syndication deal with a good syndicator or sponsor, I mean, you should make like high double-digit returns. And doing nothing. That's the crazy part of it.
Yeah. And one of the great things about it as well, man, like, look, some of you, like, man, I may not have 25,000. That's okay. Guess what? You start saving money every year, whether you save 1,000 or 3,000 a year, and then you put it in the deal, or you get somebody else that you partner with, and you combine, you get 25,000, and you start investing in deals. Maybe you do 1 or 2 flips, and then you get into a syndication. But the bottom line is to start, and I don't care what you have. And we're going to share with you an avenue that you'll be able to do that as well. Let's go to the next one, Walt. Like here, whoa, is that right? Is this serious?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to take this out to 6 to 15 years, and what is this saying? You stop putting in money after the 5th year?
So you still invest 25,000, but
Okay.
On year 6, you add the sales profit to that because you got the principal back as well. But so it just keeps on compounding, right? So much so that by the end of 15 years, you almost triple your money, not just double. And you would have received so much in terms of cash flow, right? So, and then you get at the end of 15 years, let's say because the whole time frame of syndication is typically 5 years. So every 5 years you get that bump, even though you're still contributing 25,000 a year.
Absolutely.
You are increasing your contribution every 5 years.
And this is only 25,000. Imagine if you did 150,000 or 100,000. Like, you clearly would be over millions of dollars. And after a while, you just have cash flow. You just have cash flow every year.
And it's, basically tax-free cash flow because of the depreciation,
Absolutely.
All right, next slide.
So how do you double your money investing in syndication tax-free? Well, look, there's one way you could do a 401k, Roth, which I've done. There's no income limit, unlike Roth IRAs, solo Roth 401ks work. If you're at a certain age, you can contribute up to 61,000.
Yeah, no, actually, Mike, you can contribute 61,000 now per year.
What?
And when you're age 50 and above, there is a 6,500 catch-up contribution per year. So I will turn 50 on September, then I can contribute 67,500 per year.
Wow.
And it's tax-free, and you invest that in a syndication. Well, in a syndication, unless you are a real estate professional, your cash flow will be offset more or less by the depreciation, so therefore it's tax-free. But when you sell, or when the syndicator sells the deal, now you get the sales proceeds. There's usually a capital gains tax. In the illustration, like past 2 slides, we estimated it to be like 20%. But if you're investing it in a solo Roth 401k, when, let's say, Mike is the syndicator, when he sells the property, and now you're getting a $13,000 check, from the sales, $16,000 check from the sales proceeds, it's actually tax-free as well. So it's like you can have like $1 million and it's tax-free profit with this, solo Roth 401k, okay, which is nuts. And this one also doesn't have a UBIT, Mike, which is different from the Roth IRA. So there are very little limitations, and you can actually have checkbook control as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys, if you think this is a topic that you want to discuss more of, we can get an expert. I actually paid for tax planning purposes, for an hour, like $340, for 1 hour. And I learned, like, I kind of confirm my the whole strategy with the solo 401k. And so I can invite him to be an expert to talk about that if you guys are interested. So if you are, then put yes in the chat, and then I can get that expert to talk with you guys.
Yeah. So we're now we bring people who about 401ks, or we'll talk more about other people about syndications. Which one, or both?
Yeah, I mean the solo Roth 401k, if it's self-directed, it can invest in a syndication.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, we'll start inviting more people. Look, Kit is over here recommending people as well. Annabelle asked, can a trust invest in a syndication? Yes, trust or your self-directeds can invest in syndications. Now, IRAs can invest in syndications, but understand if you invest in the syndication, you actually invested in the LLC and you're subject to, how is it? UBIT, unrelated
UBIT.
business income tax. So
Yeah.
you can end up getting hit with another tax, but that's okay. All right, let's go on to the next one. What else we got here?
Not with the solo Roth 401k, but anyway, yeah, that's why we need an expert to talk more
So
about.
how do you find good syndication deals? Look, you got to network like crazy. Like we always say, your net worth is your net worth, right? Or your network is your net worth, one or the other, okay? Look, go to these in-person conferences. We have the Bird 360, you'll be around other like-minded. Today, I'm in Miami at the NABHood conference where I'm networking with more people that's doing hotels. I mean, it's some of the biggest guys in the industry. When Norm was just right here next to me, you know, the guy we called one of the first guys, black guys I met doing hotels, over $1 billion hotels,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and within 10 years. I just met a guy, Euclid and Raul, some of the biggest hotelers in the country. That when you talked about me and Floyd Mayweather have something in common, well, he invested with that group right there.
Really?
And we've met and spoken, but everybody from Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, the CEOs from Wyndham and Marriott are all here sharing information. So go network, spend money on yourself, invest in yourself, learn more, join our mastermind, join the Burr. Look, you got to get out there and learn more. Our mastermind members are trained to underwrite and conservative underwrite apartment and hotel deals. Once every 4 weeks, we do a deals in a capital exchange where we share information. So yeah, so join the conference. There's the Bird 360 and there's the NABHood, NABHOOD. All right, that's where we at today. What we got next, Walt? So if you want to invest passively or actively in apartments and hotels, join our mastermind. Or if you just want to have 50,000 and you want to invest passively and have done at least one real estate deal, you're invited to join our mastermind coaching call tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Join the chat, contact in the chat. There's Chris. Chris, you know, you'll hit him with your email, phone number, and he will send you a link. So if you want to learn more about investing passively or how we do all these different deals, or if you just want to passively, you want to learn more, or you just want to be a passive investor, just hit Chris up, tell him what you want to do, and we are here for you because we're the #1 real estate with real solutions. All right. So again, if you're interested in learning more, hey, hit Chris in the chat or just type in mastermind coaching and he'll get with you in the chat. What else we got there, Win or Walt? All right, so the big deal mastermind is now open by application only. The last applicants will be considered next. Is that next Thursday or Friday? My birthday.
Next Friday. That's
next Friday, which is my birthday. We're gonna tear the club up. Chris, people are hitting in the chat, so you just respond to them. Or they can put their email. So NassauInvest.com/mastermind.
Sorry,
NassauInvest.com/mastermind. Go ahead, Wayne, what we're saying?
Yeah, the link is wrong. It's NassauInvest.com/waitlist. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay, all right, no worries. NassauInvest.com/waitlist.
Yep.
NassauInvest.com/waitlist. Or just easily put your email in the chat or just say, Chris, hit me up.
Yeah, contact Chris.
Oh, Kenneth, yes, absolutely. We'd love to present to accredited investors. We'll talk about that. So Chris, you'll take everyone's name. So what we got next? Are we doing our surprise guest first, or we're going straight to?
Let's do our surprise guest first. So very quickly, so some of you might, like are thinking like how, like exactly as we discussed, right? Getting a good syndicator or sponsor is like the #1 priority, because if you can get in front of a good syndicator, then it's a matter of betting the deal. If you like the deal, then you invest the money, right? So let's quickly interview Daniel Nguyen and ask him like, hey, how did you meet Mike? Why did you decide to invest with him? And what's your experience so far in investing with Mike on his syndication deals? Daniel?
I'm trying to start my video, but it says I can't.
Oh, when give him, Walt.
Go ahead, Daniel. You can share your video now.
Okay. I apologize, everybody, if you guys go blind. Oh, there you
So
go.
Dan, how you doing,
Hey,
brother?
what's going on?
Yes.
Doing all right. Just hanging out. I feel like I say that every time you ask me what's going on. Yeah, I'm just hanging out.
You're
You're
the lazy Asian investor.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so again, those three things. How did you, and because of time, we will interview Devon.
Yeah,
Give it to 5 minutes. How did you
yeah.
meet Mike? Why did you decide to invest with him? And what's your experience so far?
So first things first, I met Mike in Cincinnati. So I started investing on my own, kind of small. So I have experience investing small time, bought a condo, rented that out, kept it for a year, sold it, 1031 to the fourplex, kept it for 18 months, sold it. And then I was looking out of state because, so I live in California. I'm about half an hour from San Francisco. I was looking out of state because the cash flow is way better, cap rate's way better. And I went to Indiana University. My friends' families from Indiana, right next to Cincinnati. They said, go look at Cincinnati. I went over there. So basically, through my realtor in Cincinnati, I met Mike. He picked me up at my hotel, showed me a few properties. I actually decided not to invest, not to buy his property. And then after like 3 days, I reconsidered, ended up buying his building, 28-unit apartment building. And then basically that was when my life completely changed. My first rent check was $12,000.
Nice.
After mortgage, after everything. And so I was like, I quit. I'm done. I'm not working anymore. So then the rent started blowing up, and then Mike was like, if I had known the rents would blow up, I would have never sold this to you. And then I said, and then I was like, sucker. So then we all bonded. We became like best friends, basically. Before the pandemic, I used to fly out to Cincinnati 3-4 times a year. Mike and his kids and I went go-kart racing. Mike's favorite restaurant is B-Dubs. So I've been to B-Dubs with his family like 17 billion times.
And what's Mike's favorite beer?
Mike's favorite beer. I've seen him get Heineken's a lot.
There you go. You really know Mike. Okay.
Heineken's and Longhorn Steakhouse. And then I think I have a unique perspective. So far in Mike's and Nate's deals, I think I have roughly between 700,000 and $1 million in equity.
Nice.
And they actually managed my 28-unit building for me, which is currently worth $2 million. So so Mike and his team manages $3 million of my worth, basically. So I have to, so in terms of investing in syndications, I have actually, as some people may know, I'm Mike's head of investor relations for the hotels and the apartments. And I've actually pitched the hotels to some people and they say, you know what? Why do we need Mike? Like, why can't we just go buy a hotel and do it all ourselves? We'll make way more money. And I told them, I was like, honestly, I've done the self-managing and I've done the do-it-yourself. We're not going to make more money. And as a matter of fact, we're going to make less. And I know this
That's true.
because,
I can attest to that
and
too.
yeah, I know this because when I own my fourplex, it's like toilet jammed. Oh shoot, I got to call Roto-Rooter. They send me a bill for $300. It's like the water heater broke. Oh, I have to Yelp a plumber. They're going to charge me, the retail rate for an individual to replace a water heater. You go into a syndication and it's going to be a bigger group that has done a lot more projects, that have a lot more assets under their belt, which means that either they're going to have their own maintenance people under
Mhm.
staff,
Yeah.
or they're going to, like, for example, when we do our hotels and we go through Commonwealth, they run a $1.5 to $2 billion portfolio. They're not going to get the same maintenance pricing as if my friend and I went and bought the
Like a
ABC
Staybridge.
City
Mhm.
Inn
Right.
and was like, okay, shoot, 4 of our hotel rooms are clogged. We have to call Roto-Rooter and get a bill for like $2,000. And for that reason, investing in syndication, I think is number one, very important thing that not a lot of metric that not a lot of people think about is headache per dollar.
Mm.
And it's you originally think that it's going to make more money because you're doing it yourself. You're not paying a management company. You're not paying the GP of a syndication. You're not whatever. It's not going to make more money. I've lived through this. When I bought my fourplex, it's like I ran the numbers. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make like $2,500 a month. There's going to be $2,000 a month in rent, $8,000 a month, blah, 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 blah. And then when I came home, I netted like a thousand maybe. And it was just like, oh, shoot, I didn't think of this tenant not paying and still staying there, and then I had to shell out $2,000 or $1,000 for an eviction attorney. And I didn't bank on basically, hey, the city came by, this tree's limbs are hanging over the roof. You have to go, it's this size, so you have to hire a gardener and they trim it, and the pile of leaves is like taller than the building, and the gardener sends you a bill for $1,500. Like, you don't really think about that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so that's why I was like, and it's similar to the condo. It sucks. It has an HOA, but I don't have to worry about any of the exterior, or it's the same thing. It's kind of like organized by a big HOA. But I would never go to a condo again because the appreciation's not there. It's just too small. But it's the same concept. It's like when you have a big connected GP with a huge connected network, your returns are going to be the same or better. And plus, and I can't stress enough, just like the reason why I don't get another job, go out and get my own job for, 150, 200,000 a year, is because the syndications have allowed me to watch my son Reese. As Chris was joking, I look tired, but he just had his first birthday, and I have been at home with him all day, every day, from the moment he was born. And I just can't imagine having to, not necessarily, like, if you do it yourself, you don't necessarily have to be at a 9 to 5, like a lot of people going to work like 2-3 weeks after their kids are born. But if you're gonna self-manage and do all this stuff, run to Home Depot, come back, do all this stuff, then you can't really just enjoy life. And once you have kids, you realize that to a certain extent, money is very, very important. You need the basics, you need the necessities, but once you get to the point where all money does is increase from basics to luxury, then it becomes less important. And so I've learned that chasing that extra little bit of doing everything yourself versus a syndication is just not worth it.
Nice.
Yeah. And then so that's my perspective, because I've done both. I've done on my own, I've done deals with Mike. And there's a reason why I continue to do deals with Mike instead of telling people I have, 8 single family houses or whatnot like this. I'm currently selling my 28 unit building, and that would have been the only real estate asset I ever did by myself. And not even that, because Mike's company managed it for me, and they did all the management and the kind of higher scaled pricing for me. And from now on, like everything, and you want somebody with that kind of network to have equity in a deal that you're participating in, because they have the resource, they're going to tap their resources to protect their own money, and in turn your own money. Like nobody really cared. Like when my fourplex, before I sold it, I remember the property manager, he left a unit vacant, and he basically had a 50% or 40% response rate to people on Zillow emailing him about the unit. And I was like, I'm losing $2,000 a month, and he's not doing anything because he doesn't have equity in the deal. Like
It's in the game. Yeah.
it is like he loses $200. So he's like, whatever, I can leave this for later. It doesn't affect me that much, but it affects me. And with Mike, that's not the case, because us being in the GP, we have a lot of skin in the game. So we're going to do, the best we can to make this. I mean, Mike cares about investors. This guy didn't really care about his clients. That's the difference. But you guys all kind of get the point. But I'll kind of move on from there to let more important people announce more important things.
All right, man. Hey, Walt, give Daniel a round of applause.
Thanks, Daniel.
Hey, thanks, Daniel, so much, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
thanks for
Walt,
having me.
man, fix that screen, man. Can't nobody see nobody, man.
What? We can see you.
I'm not flashing up. I see Mike Ealy flash up. You see me flash up?
Yep.
All right, it was
There.
my computer. All right. All right, Win, will you introduce our next guest?
All right. So actually on the PowerPoint, let's go back to the PowerPoint. Well, so some of you might be thinking, well, 25,000 a year or 50,000 a year, that's a lot of money. What if I'm only starting out and all I can save for an entire year is 1,000 or 5,000 bucks? What do I do? Well, here's the answer. Devon Reeves, one of the coaches in our mastermind, and also now the CEO of Vestor, launched Vestor, which is a new crowdfunding platform that invests in hotels. So without further ado, it's our pleasure to introduce to you guys Devon Reeves. Devon, how are you?
Devon, what's going on? Devon probably gone now.
Devon, you need to unmute. Uh-oh. Devon, hello.
Let's call her. I'm sure.
Call her. So But guys, while we're waiting for Devon, are there any questions about, passive investing, syndication, land lease, whatever questions you guys have, or any questions about apartment or hotel investing in general? So
I don't know where she went.
that we can answer and Daniel can also help
I
answer
have been on
questions.
the ownership side for most of my.
Oh, there she goes.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
On the ownership side.
All right, yeah, Devon.
What they got, the usher board going on? What's going
All
on?
right, sorry about that. Can y'all hear me, see me?
There you go.
Sorry about that. This ran a little over. I'm double booked. Yeah, you said 12 o'clock.
I said 12 o'clock, and then your segment is, won't be until like 12:35, 12:45-ish, and then
Yeah, well, we still over. Let's get her in here. So, Devon, you created this amazing achievement. You found a way and put in all this work. I don't even know how long you've been working on it. A year, 2 years, creating a major platform for not only accredited, but non-accredited investors. That's something amazing. Non-accredited investors can now get in the game of owning their portion of real estate. Now, I know we focus on hotels, but will you have other types of deals on there, or will you only focus on hotels? And just tell us what you got here.
Yeah, so I'll have hotels, multifamily, daycares, office, anything that's commercial real estate. Well, let me take that back. They're not, let me remove myself out of the equation because they're not my deals, right? They're folks who want to put their deals on there. I know, Mike, we're gonna have some of your deals, not some, we need to get all your deals on there, right? So anyone who's looking to raise capital, can I pull up the screen? Can I share my screen?
what?
I can't. Okay, let me just pull it up.
You
Make
good,
more
Devon.
sense.
You can go.
Yeah, all right, let me just pull up the website. It'll make more sense. Okay, because that way.
The
people are-
website is
Investor.
investor.com.
Yep, let me pull it up. Okay. All right. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, Daniel, I didn't even tell you about it.
No, he's not
Yeah,
important.
you were too busy dancing.
That's true.
Yes, he's been dancing for about a week now.
Yeah.
Devon has some.
The
Devon has some
smiling
moves there.
assassin.
That's so funny. Look, that's how El Reno came about, right?
Oh yeah.
So vestor.com, it is live. So you can literally go onto your website right now. Go onto the website right now. So it's a crowdfunding platform. So we're actually analyzing deals and working on some deals and getting them on the platform. So definitely sign up for the mailing list. So that way you'll be the first to know when the deals hit our platform. So you just click on view current securities or the investment. So it'll be a marketplace for folks who want to invest. Now, these are for the folks who want to passively invest like Mike was talking about before, all right? So these are for the folks like Daniel, who's a great passive investor, right? Who would love to invest in deals. And this is also good for non-accredited investors, like Mike mentioned. For those who don't know what an accredited or non-accredited investor is, an accredited investor is someone who has income of 200,000 or more, or they have a net worth of $1 million or more. And for the longest time, a lot of the best deals were only available to accredited investors. So, or the top 1% or top 2% are basically an opportunity to keep the wealthy, right? And so now there are a lot of different vehicles where folks that are non-accredited investors, they can actually invest. So I created this platform. And the reason why I created it, because I noticed a lot of people would say, hey, Devon, I want to buy a hotel, but I don't have access to capital. Or they're like, hey, I want to invest and I don't know where to go. So Vestor is the solution. So for my folks who wants to raise capital, click on just go to this hamburger here, click on the raise capital section. This walks you through how to get started. Click on get started now, enter your information, put your pitch deck, someone from my team, they'll respond. So we do our due diligence to make sure that, it's equipped or ready for the website, and then we'll ask you more information and get you approved with the SEC, and then we'll put you on our platform.
Nice.
Nice. So what's so different between this and something like crowdfund.com or Realty Mogul,
Really.
etc.
Yeah, so like CrowdStreet, all of those are, well, they're not really platforms. So mine's a platform, so I'm just a platform, right? So I'm not gonna take, I'm not gonna take any equity thing out of your deal, and there's no partnership. This is legit your deal. Another thing that makes us different from the other crowdfunding websites, you have to be an accredited investor to invest. All right, this one you don't have to be an accredited investor. And then also with those other websites, you have to have a certain amount of real estate investment experience, meaning if you want to raise capital for your deal, some of them you have to have done at least 25, 50 million, $100 million of real estate, even to put your deal on the platform. Well, mine is not the case, with people who need that help just getting started. And then also with my platform, you can raise up to $5 million for your deal.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So you're telling me not only for a beginning investor, but also someone who has potential experience and has a great project that needs funding, they could come to this site and get help.
Correct. Yep.
That's amazing. Like now, these non-accredited investors, people with limited capital, they can be a part of the game. They can actually acquire some real estate. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to put this together?
Probably a year. Yeah, now that I think about it, over a year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of due diligence. And not only that, like the securities that you had to go through.
Yeah, it was, so we're regulated. So we're a member of FINRA, which is the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. So we're regulated by FINRA. We're also, if something happens, we're get regulated by the SEC, which is Securities Exchange Commission. So also this gives folks a sense of security for folks who are looking to invest. Because we have to go through so many regulations. We also have to do our due diligence for any of the deals that make it to our platform. Now, of course, as an investor, you want to do your own due diligence, but we just not going to have, for example, let's say somebody, they want to develop a Marriott, right? And they send the deal to my website. No way in the world they're gonna get approved by Marriott. They can't guarantee the loan. Let's say it's for like 25 million. I'm just making this up.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have the qualifications, if they don't have what they need, and I can just tell from their background and from their pitch deck that they're not going to be able to get approved by Marriott, we're not even gonna put them on the platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Arthur Robinson has a question. What's the cost structure in using this program, Devon?
Sure. So it is 5%. Let me see. So it's FA, can go to the FAQ section. So it is 5%. So we will, as a platform, we'll take 5% of the total capital raise for your deal. The minimum that we want you all to raise is $500,000. So it's an opportunity to raise from $500,000 to $5 million. One of the benefits about my platform is that you can actually market. So you can do Facebook ads because you're sending them to my platform, right? So you can do Facebook ads, you can put it on your Facebook page, you can send out an email, you can send it out to your community and say, hey, I have, this new deal that you can invest in, go to this website to invest. So you can actually use my platform to market.
That's
so
amazing.
Even if it's a 506B?
Because you're using my platform, because you're yeah. So you can do Facebook ads, you can drop in, you can send an email, because you're not sending them directly to your fund, you're sending them to my, so basically you're marketing my platform. Even though your deal is on the platform, you're marketing my platform.
That's an
opportunity. So that's another reason why I created
a good loophole. Yeah.
A lot of people were having issues. I kept hearing it, even in the mastermind, Mike, we hear it. Oh my gosh, I want to market my deal, but how do I market? Where do I go? How do I do it? So now you could just post on LinkedIn, here, I got this deal, going to, go to vestor.com to check out a new deal. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And now that you had it, why is it called Vestor.com?
Well, I didn't actually, my business partner came with this. I like the name. We wanted to be something that is just a basic investor name, because we're going to put on commercial real estate projects on the platform. So we didn't want it just to be something dealing with hotels, something dealing with just multifamily. So we wanted to be something that could be used across the board for all different real estate aspects.
Nice.
Well, commercial, because we're not doing residential, so no residential in here.
Right.
No residential. What about developments?
So
Residential.
if it's a development, so let's say you want to do a complex or a subdivision, then that would be actually, now it's considered commercial, because you'll have to get a commercial loan to develop it. So then yes, you'll be able to do it for that. But if it's just like a single family, then no.
And this platform, if you had a project to raise capital, can they invest anywhere, like Caribbeans or UK?
Not yet. We're not set up for international investment yet, but that is a part of the next phases to get international investment. And also we're working on part of the next phases to expand. And so that way investors or sponsors, they'll be able to raise more capital for their deals instead of with the limit of 5 million.
This is amazing. Some of you guys used to seeing it like, oh, this is great as a platform. If you understood the challenges and the work and the commitment and the routine that you had to go through, and then the interviews through securities just to obtain this, like, this license is one of a kind. That is why you saw her dancing all the time. She was like, whoo. I don't know if she got the Holy Ghost or she was just happy. I don't know. But I would be dancing. Matter of fact, she had other people dancing. It was so much. So I'm just honored.
Harder than closing on the hotel in the house, Mike. This is hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
No, what you did was hard. So no, I commend you. We're proud of you. Thank you so much. And we thank you for being a part of our team and all that you do and all the connections. You know, I don't know who's the boss around here, Davon. Sometimes I'm thinking I'm leading this show and Davon says, shut up. You need to meet this person, meet this, and be there. And that's it. So.
But look, it worked out. Look at all the folks you're meeting.
Hey, Mike, you busy on Tuesday? Let me ask my wife and Davon.
That's true.
Mike, I didn't know you like Longhorn. That's my favorite too. You know, I used to work there.
Yeah, hey, listen, let me tell you something, because I'm cheap.
Wait, where didn't you work? Because you seem to work for like every single hotel ever made. And now we found out you work at Longhorn.
I used to be a waitress and the hostess there. And I still love Longhorn to this day. And my dad's favorite beer was Heineken.
There you go. Let me tell you.
Next, we're gonna be like, I'm gonna fly out to the BRRR conference, and Davon's gonna be like, I used to be an airline mechanic.
Hey, no, look, man. The reason I would like Longhorn so much, I love Jeff Ruby's and my other place, Tony's Steakhouse. And look, those were like, you know, by the time you're done, that's $150 plate for one person.
That's it?
Yeah. I know San Francisco. That's your average dinner. And so I went to Longhorn. It was $30. I was like, guess where I'm eating, man.
All right. There's a question here for Davon. What do I click on for non-accredited investors?
I pulled it up. So this is for you to invest. So you go to log in and then just go to join now. And then that way you can create a profile.
Nice. And then what happens if somebody posts a deal like a 506B, then if you put in non-accredited, then you get that investment opportunity? Is that how it works?
Correct. Yeah. So now it depends. Now, some investors, some sponsors may not want to have non-accredited investors, right? Because with non-accredited investors, there's an investment limit. So if they just want to choose just to have accredited investors, they can. So it's up to the sponsor. So they set the deal, they set the structure, they set the minimum to invest. So it's up.
Yeah. So here's a perfect example, and these are things we'll do from now on. So most of our deals are accredited. So like our Sarasota deal, once I post that up, it's strictly accredited investors, okay? But now you can, because of what she has, we will be able to market for both. It's the best of both worlds. I can take non-accredited,
Mhm.
right? And then once that non-accredited market or gap fills, which is 35
Mhm.
investors, I then could go to market openly
Mhm.
for accredited investors
Right.
for the remaining.
Got it. So from 506C, you can use this to still get, oh no, I mean 506B, then you can switch to 506C.
Yes,
Got it.
yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
Mhm.
That's
Hey,
cool.
well, look, Davon, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited for you. We'll all give her that round of applause. Give him the air horns because she deserves it all.
And then Daniel, I get to finally meet you in person in September.
Ah, yes.
We never
yes.
met in person.
No.
We
Oh my
do-
gosh, this has been going on since
we don't.
2020.
It's like
And we
3
get
years,
to
3
be in
years from now. Yeah,
Yeah.
since
I
three.
haven't gone
Three
on a
years.
plane since 2019.
Yeah, that's why it's 3 years, right? Cool. Thanks,
Uh,
Devon.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Davon.
See ya.
Walt, let's get this screen. Let's wrap them up here, man.
Mike's, oh, the Mike's.
Now it's time for Mike's Millionaire Mindset.
Hey, look, guys. Today, I just want to talk about consistency and a routine. Consistency and a routine is what's going to change your life. It's going to catapult you from not winning all the time to consistently winning. All simply by putting yourself in a routine and having tunnel vision. You know why you're not where you want to be? You want to know why? Well, I'm not really where I want to be. Yeah, some of you are like, Mike, you're doing great things. No, I have not left my footprint yet. And neither have you. There's greater things in you. There's a bigger passion. There's a bigger song in your heart, in your spirit, in your body that needs to come out. So what you made $1 million? So what you made $50,000? You're deserving. You're supposed to live in abundance. But let me tell you, in order to accomplish the dreams, the goals, you got to go bigger. I always talk about having a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Well, now we always had it, but now we're ready to execute it. Not just $1 billion, but over 3 to 4 billion in hotels and apartments. And we are going to do it together. You're going to join us as we accomplish that. But we're now diligent working on our simple plan with tunnel vision to accomplish that. And the only way you're going to get there is with a routine and being on schedule and not being distracted. I know me and Nate, we're so guilty of a squirrel go past squirrel. And, you know, some of you get distracted. And look, don't get me wrong, life has its own problems every day. But that can't distract you. That can't be the reason you don't accomplish your goal. You have to be consistent. In order to complete a 1,000,000-mile journey, you must take one step a day. One step in front of, not just one step after another. In order to accomplish your goal, you must take multiple steps towards it every day. And you don't quit until you're there. Like I always tell you, you will never win if you quit. And the way you win is being consistent. I'm not challenging you, I'm telling you, be consistent. Go after it. Set up your schedule, set up your plan, and put the work in. And don't let nobody outwork you. Now, something of this big and this task, we need a team. And we structure that team. But look, in this goal, I don't want you to get lost. All right. I want you to spend time with your family. I want you to spend time with your family, your wife, your kids, whatever, doing what you love. I don't want you to lose yourself in your work, but yet find yourself in work. And from that, you'll be able to find and watch your family grow. Consistency is everything. Hey, look, man, that's my time for the day. I thank you so much for joining us. As always, God bless you. God keep you. May God bless you beyond your belief, but not your capacity. And remember, you're one big deal away. Thank you.
All right. Why is that the sound? We will choose one of you to get a t-shirt and a book. Alrighty, let's look at the chat here.
Who are we giving the book away today?
I will choose. Hold on, let me see.
I used to be broke though, money was so used to be low though.
All right. Let's give a book and t-shirt to Annabelle.
Annabelle, she's been winning today.
Yeah, she's one of our latest mastermind member. Annabelle, congratulations. So write a chat with Walt in order to get your book. Walt, give Annabelle chat with Annabelle your email address so she can send you her address.
All right, let's give it up for Annabelle area. We got Camp, Carmine, Towns, Carolyn, Cheryl, Craig Peterson in the building. What's up, Craig? How you been, brother?
Crystal, Hitesh Patel is always.
Hitesh is always there. Joe Lowry, and is that Josephat?
Josephat Calvo.
We got Camego, or is that Edwards? K in the building. K trying to get this. Ken Best, Gladney, Skip, and Teresa. Guys, thanks so much for hanging around. And let's go get this money, man. Let's go get this real estate. Let's change our lives forever. Let's change our family history, our family's destiny, because the work you put in, the steps you put in will create the journey for them of a lifetime. Peace out. See you next week.
Mike. Bye, everyone.
Wait a minute, I won't back down, oh no. Wait a minute, I stand my ground, oh. Wait a minute, I'm stronger now, oh wow. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Try to knock me down, take my crown. Look at me now, look at me now. Yeah, look at me now. Yeah, you try to knock me down, but I got up somehow. Yeah, look at me now. Look at me now. Hey, you cannot stop me. No. Hey, you cannot stop me. Hey, you cannot stop me. No. Hey, you cannot stop me. Go.